the value of what we actually have here. It is tremendous. I've been in this space for more than 28 years. I've been a consultant, been the president of a crypto company, and I got to tell you, I've not seen anything so well put together that's user friendly. You don't have to be high tech in order to have success leveraging this tool. It just requires you just plugging in like training is what we have right now so that you can understand how to use it. If you can send a text message, you can use this system. But it is designed to help us to manage our business so that we can navigate through our ranks and we can have success. So I'm so honored to have Jen, part of corporate from Rapid Funder, that's going to share with us how to leverage this tool. And I'm so grateful that we're recording them because we've got a library of recordings that we can always go back and look and make sure we, take a look at things that we may have missed in being on it live. So thank you, Jen, for plugging in. Jen, take it away.
Hey, well, thank you, Antoine, and thank you, Dawn, and congratulations to all of you for being here and getting the training. Investing in yourself is always the number one thing that you can be doing for your own business growth, and learning this tool is going to be a fabulous asset for you. I know some of you have probably seen me here before with trainings, and some of you are new, but I absolutely love this app. I have been in the industry myself for about 33 years, and I sure wish I'd had this when I got started. So you guys are so fortunate that your leadership has made the commitment to get this tool available for you so that you can be using it to grow your teams and grow your business. It's just awesome. I'm going to share my screen here and just go through a couple of things, and then give me 1 second here while I do that. Bear with me. And hold on. My thing always just gets covered up, which I don't really appreciate. But what I want to share with you today is one of the issues that we have with building a business here is, how do you do it for both the short term and the long term so that you can get yourself off to a really quick start and simultaneously have that long game view in mind? And having ways of getting contacts is huge for sure, because the person with the deepest list of contacts definitely has a broader base to connect with. The person with great relationships is in a stronger place. But the cool thing here is that you can grow both of those. And we're going to show you a couple of ways to both broaden your depth and broaden your width of your contacts. And then what do you do with them? Because that's a lot of the challenge. If you think about it, you might have experience as an entrepreneur, you might have experience in this space, but a lot of people joining you and joining your team may not have any. And so they just don't have that mindset necessarily of being prepared to prospect at any time. The cool thing about the app is you never leave home without your phone. I mean, I just don't know anyone who does. And we've gotten to the point where we travel with our little battery packs so that, we have our phone with us. And if the battery runs out, we got a way to plug them in, or at least I do. I've got this cool little pack I carry in my bag, and I can always charge my phone because it's pivotal to my day, right? The other challenge, and particularly for new people joining your team. So, I mean, I'm speaking to you personally, but I'm also speaking to you as a leader, because you have to understand that one of your roles in growing a team is going to be this process of showing someone who hasn't been entrepreneurial how they can partner with you, and how part-time they can create a source of income that will be powerful and life-changing for them. And they need to learn how to organize themselves and how to organize their contacts. And I'm going to share some of that with you, because the good news is that back in the day, we kind of had to create all these systems. Your leadership has put together this app for you, so it's right there on your phone. You don't have to create anything. You just have to learn how to use the app, which fortunately is very intuitive. Honestly, if I can learn it, I'm the least techie person in the world. And if I can learn it, you can learn it too. Keeping good notes is another aspect that I'm going to spend a second on here. Not knowing where you met someone or when you should follow up is, you sit there and you just run into someone's name and your to-do list or on your calendar and you're like, how did I meet them? So what I'm going to talk about a little bit too here is that the slow way really is the fast way when it comes to organizing your contacts. And then the final thing is who's a hot prospect and who's a cold prospect? How do you even know? And the app has some cool features to really show you how you can tell that difference. So the solution here is within your app, and I'm going to open it up in a minute, and then Dawn's going to guide you through a workshop so that you actually have some hands-on experience with this. But if you use some of the resources that you already have, this is the cool part, they're already there. You've got 2 surveys that you can use. You can be putting those surveys on your social media feeds. You can be sending those surveys as a link to your contacts. You can be using those surveys right there in your app. And when people respond to them, they automatically get brought into the app with their name and whatever information you've requested on the survey. Usually it's their name, their cell phone, their email. The other way that you can add people is we have a digital business card, which if any of you have done stuff like Linktree or all those things, digital business cards are pricey and it's included here in your app. So you've got one. And if someone has a digital business card and they share it with you, their contacts are loaded right into your app. So you've got all their information. So you don't have to worry about fat fingers and writing things wrong. It's going to come right in. So we've basically also got a digital business card for you to create. And the really cool thing about that is it's got the QR code. And one of the things I saw someone do with this, which I thought was genius, was they just kept the photo of the QR code as their desktop for their phone, as basically their screensaver. So they could just hold their phone up and their QR code was right there and they could share their business card just as easily as showing someone their phone, which is amazing. And then we also have a way to star your prospects, your contacts, so that you have a sense of, are they just a contact that you want to stay in touch with, or are they someone who's really expressed an interest in what you're doing? And the app itself will help you identify based on someone's behavior what their rank should be. So I'm going to go right into the app because I want to show you that, but you're going to have a challenge too of labeling, putting some contacts in and labeling them. Let me just get out of my share for just a second and go back into my share to your app and just show you what I'm talking about with some of these things here, which are really cool. So here you are in your app. And if you look, for example, here at your top thing, I don't know why that's not, my app is just moving a little slow compared to the app itself. So I just must have slow Wi-Fi here. Sorry about that. But you've got 2 surveys right here to choose from, which are awesome. And with the surveys, you can send those anywhere and you can be creating leads. So I'm just going to click on those because I don't know if you've seen them, but the first one is a survey on gold and silver. And the second one is a survey on having a side gig and what is involved in that and do they qualify. So you've got a couple of topics. And the cool thing about the survey is, again, you can put it out there to people in a venue like your social media, your LinkedIn, your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever you happen to use, and have people respond to it. And you might not have their information, but if they do the survey, you will have their information. And then you have a way to reach out to them. First of all, you have the answers to their survey questions. And so you know where they're coming from and you can send them a message and thank them for doing the survey and just say, hey, I noticed that you expressed an interest in X, Y, or Z. And you've got some really exciting tools coming up that your leadership's put together for you. I can't really let the cat out of the bag right now, but just know in another couple of weeks, you're going to have another really cool feature added to your app, courtesy of your leadership. It's a big investment in the app that they're making, and it's going to be awesome in terms of you being able to, again, find people who are already raising their hand for what you're doing. And you might not know them, but have them find you in a way that puts them in the flow so you can be in touch with them. So that's one way of using surveys, but I want to spend a second and talk about really, this is sort of near and dear to my heart, and it's what you do with a contact when you bring a contact in that makes a huge difference. So if you click on the contacts, you can see everybody that's in your contact base. If you wanted to add a new contact, you would click on this button here, and I'm sure Don will walk you through that in a second. But I just want to show you that if you click on a contact, and I'm just going to go to Dawn Demo up here, there are a couple of really cool features that will help you if you'll take the time to do it. Doesn't take that long, but it's a game changer in terms of the long term for your business. It also helps in the short term staying organized for sure. And I'll show you in a second what I mean by that. When you bring someone into your app, you have a couple of ways of doing it. But mostly, if you look at this button here where it says edit, right here where it says labels, if you click on that edit button, let's see if I can get my phone to click, you get a whole bunch of options. You're not limited to how many labels that you can give someone. I wouldn't overwhelm yourself with labels, but I would definitely pick at least one or two so that you remember who they are. And more importantly, you can have a strategy for how are you going to stay in touch with these people. Now, I don't know about you. I was like the reluctant spouse when we looked at this business. My husband got it right away, and I was the negative wife who was just like, there's no way we're doing this. I'm not looking at it. It's just not, I was a 2-weeker. It took me 2 full weeks to agree to even look at anything. You're going to have people that take 2 weeks, 2 months to look at stuff. How are you going to stay in touch with them and remember who they are and what your conversation was and what you should do next for them to educate them and keep the relationship going? How are you going to remember that? Or more importantly, how's your new person going to remember that? That's really what you're trying to be thinking about, is how do you support your team so that someone part-time can master the skills, stay ahead of the curve with their relationships that they have with their contacts, and give them relevant information and make themselves really integral to that person's life. Because it's one thing to have a conversation with someone. It's another thing to remember what they said and realize, hey, they were concerned about the cost of silver. They were concerned about how they're going to make ends meet, or they were concerned about hedging inflation, or whatever they were concerned about. Couple of things. If, first of all, you do yourself the service and say, I met them at my book club, then you probably can have a really similar conversation with most of the people that you met at the book club. Some might be a yes, some might be a maybe, some might be a no, but you've got them together and you can create text messages and emails that you send and resources under your personal resources that are appropriate for that particular group of people. So that's one way of using labels that's really important, because I don't know about you, but I'll do events and then I'll realize, oh man, I really should kind of dropped the ball on all those people I met at the Christmas bazaar or whatever event I was at. And I've got them in here labeled as a group, and I can reach back out and just make my life easy by remembering these 30 people I talked to at that one event. And so my message will be contextual. It'll make sense to them because I can say, hey, we met at this event. Remember me? We talked about X. And here's how you remember what you talked about. And this is really important. When you're putting a contact into your phone, you have an option here of putting in a note. And I would really encourage you, take the extra 10 seconds, 15 seconds, whatever it is, to put in a good note, a note that makes sense to you, because these notes are searchable and they're searchable by anything. So let's just say you were talking with Sally. She was driving a red Ford truck. You love red Ford trucks, and you can write, she had a really cool red Ford truck, and you can't remember her name for love nor money a month from now, but you remember her saying that she really wanted to be looking at creating a certain amount of income. And you've got a speaker on a Zoom who's going to talk to exactly what you want her to hear. And all you can remember about her is the red truck. You can search and find your note and find her and get her an invite to that event. This is how I use notes. I mean, it's really going to help you stay ahead of the curve. And if you take good notes and you think about, how can I be of service to that person relative to what they've just shared with me that they're interested in, then you become relevant to that person. Then you become a source of support and insight and possibilities to that person. You can't remember everybody, so you got to use notes. And this app is your one-stop shop where you can put them all in there and then can do something about it. You can add, well, first of all, your team has put in amazing resources for your email campaign. So you've got a lot of resources, but you can also add some, and then you can build this out and be reaching out to people in a way that is relevant to them. And you can make yourself sort of their go-to person for information here about both your gold and silver, your metals, but also your income option, making extra income and being entrepreneurial in general. There are a lot of areas where you can really be using this app to make sure you're tailoring your follow-up so that it's really supporting that person. But trust me, you won't remember everybody. You just can't. There are too many details. So use the notes, use the labels. They will really help you out. So I'm just going to share a quick story about not doing notes and the importance of notes. I've been doing this for a long time. I happen to have an iPhone, and this has nothing to do with the app, but I had all my contacts in my phone, and I had a technical glitch with my phone. I went to the Apple store. Back then, you went to the Genius Bar. I had them work on my phone. They fixed everything. And then I got home and I realized, yes, they had fixed everything, but every single note on every single contact was wiped out. So I had a name and a phone number and an email and nothing else. I didn't know who anyone was. And it was awful. I went back to Apple. They couldn't recover it. If I'd had a platform like this that was independent of my phone, where I had my notes also stored, I would have been fine. I could have found everybody and I could have remembered. I'm still to this day rebuilding my notes on a lot of people, and it's heartbreaking. So it's really worth having this third-party source of storage for your information, because I've been doing this a long time. There are people that weren't ready a year ago, they're ready now. You'll hear these stories. I know Antoine shared one the other week where someone wasn't ready a couple weeks ago and then they were. So keeping people in the loop and having that long-term strategy by learning who your people are, developing good relationships, taking good notes, giving them good labels, that's going to keep you relevant. It's going to actually, if you're of service to them, it's going to make you integral to their decision-making process in the future about their money. And that's where you want to be. But then if you have them well labeled, you can sort and you can then masterfully use the events that I know your leadership has for you and be plugging the right people at the right time into the right event. And that just changes the speed at which your business is going to grow. So that's really what I wanted to share today. And I'm excited for you with this app because you're starting at such an advantage by having this tool. It's an amazing, amazing resource. I know Dawn is going to walk you through a great workshop on how to get some people in and how to label them. It's really, I've heard Antoine say this more than once, and he's right on. This is about just getting in there, making yourself someone in the app, using the app, sending yourself resources, sending yourself invites, getting familiar with the keystrokes, because all the heavy lifting's been done for you already by your leadership. They've put together great invitations, great follow-up, great tools, an amazing couple of surveys. They've got another surprise coming for you in a couple of weeks that's going to knock your socks off. It's amazing. And all you have to do is learn how to use the tool and then let the tool keep you on track with the right activities. But definitely take the time to master notes and master labels, because down the road, they will save you so much effort and energy. And more importantly, they'll make your business just laser focused on getting the right people to the right event at the right time. And it might seem like it's a little awkward at first when you put a new person in. It might seem like it takes a little bit of time, but trust me on this. The slow way is the fast way in terms of putting people in, having it organized as you bring people in, rather than retrospectively trying to organize 10, 20, 100 contacts. Give them names, give them notes, give them labels as you put them in. And then going forward, you'll just have smooth sailing in terms of being able to send people to events and just let this app help you stay organized in terms of growing your business and growing your team. I'm super excited for you. You've got great stuff going on, and you've got a great resource with this app to really keep you organized and let your team come in and hit the ground running and really get off to such a good start. They don't have to figure anything out. It's all right there on the app, which is brilliant. So, Don, that's all I wanted to share for today. And I'm happy to answer a question or two before I have to sign off, but at the half hour. But hopefully that covered some of the material that you wanted me to share with you today.
You were fantastic as always. Let me make sure that this is not echoing. And I so love the part that you said this guy was sharing while you were doing that. I was like, oh my gosh, I got to do this. That he put his QR code on his screen.
phone. I mean, I don't think I
Look
have
at
it.
that. So you could do. I just did it while you were talking. So
He went
guys,
he went to a party. He had it on his phone, and he just held up his phone for people. And it was right. It was his screensaver, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's brilliant! That's just
that
brilliant!
is so great. I'll show them how they could do that. So easy.
Awesome! It's so
And
easy, right?"
so since we just got a few more minutes with you, I'm sure Antoine has a few things he wants to talk about before the demo, but is there any specific questions that you guys have for Jen? We're going to limit it to one question each for this portion. So if you want to raise your hand, if you have a question about, you know, a feature or the notes or the labeling or anything that she discussed, raise your hand or type it in the chat box and she can address it. Otherwise, we'll also do a Q&A after we do the demo and after Antoine speaks. And I just wanted to say really quickly before, just in case, well, hopefully someone will respond, but have a question. But the rapid funnel support is amazing. So as you know, in this day and age, as we're seeing with At Cost Metals, and we've got fantastic programmers at Cost Metals, but there's always something new going on. There's always something new with the Android or the Apple that they've got to shift things up. And so these guys and the developers and the support staff, they are on top of it. So definitely within your app, again, I won't share right this second, but I thought I stopped the share. Maybe it didn't stop it. Interesting. But anyways,
I'm
within
not
the
looking
app,
at your screen. If you thought you were sharing your screen, I'm not looking at your screen.
okay, there it goes. It finally came up. So within the app, there is a support button. Anytime there is something that's glitching out, or that you're having an issue with, just reach out to support. And if the developers have to figure out the bug, they'll figure out the bug. The beauty of all of this, of having the support team, is that we don't have to become experts at this app. That's why it's all built in. That's why we have these fantastic trainings. So be assured you could bring your whole team on and everyone's going to support it. Right now, we are growing so quickly. I just sent a broadcast out to 500 people today, and it's just going boom, boom, boom. We're jumping up like 100 a week. It's incredible. And like she was saying, we're going to be doing something very soon, and that's going to catapult it as well. Okay, I don't see any questions for you, Jen, but I really appreciate your dedication, because I know that there was a little snafu this morning and you made it happen. And, you know, and so I really appreciate you.
It's called life, right? But you guys are rocking it, and you've got some great things going on. Sorry, let me shut my ringer off. You got some great things going on. I'm excited for the future for you guys, because I know that it's really going to be huge in terms of what's happening. You got some really cool things. So
Yes,
you're rocking it. Your leadership has put together some amazing, amazing stuff, which is, you wait till you hear the news. You guys are going to be excited. You're going to be excited.
well, thank you again, Jen. Okay, Antoine, would you like to jump in and give us some nuggets of wisdom?
I'm going to sign off, guys. Thank you so much for having me. It's great seeing you all, and have a great weekend, and keep rocking it. You're knocking it out of the park.
Okay.
Thank you, Jen.
Take
Thank you so
care.
very much. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, my
I
pleasure.
love that QR code. I'm doing that right away. I'm doing that right away. So that's brilliant. And that's the beauty of having the trainings, picking up nuggets that can help us to grow our business. One of the things about this industry is how do one become a professional? How do you really, really take where you are today in this space and grow that to the next level from a business perspective? Because we're doing this as a business, meaning at Cost Metals. And it comes with management, understanding how do I manage my business? How do I grow it? And you got to have systems and tools like this in place. And if you were to go do this on your own, oh my goodness. And that's exactly what I was going to do. It's going to cost thousands of dollars, not to mention the monthly, more than $150 a month, easily. And just to have what we have on the free version, oh my goodness. Then, because I started on the free version, then I upgraded after 2 weeks to the paid version. I think I paid $250 for the year and just got it out of the way, or it's less than $26 a month, $25 a month if you want to go monthly. But that's for people who are serious about the business and really want to understand the analytics behind growing their business and their prospects, because this is a fantastic tool to grow that business. So I'm leveraging that. Don is going to do some things now. We've got a contest that's ending today. It's ending today. And we can see in the app who's number one, who's number two, who's number three. And I'm covering on first prize, I'm covering their subscription for the coin of the month. I'm covering that for a couple months. Second place, I'm covering 1 month. And third place, I'm going to buy them a coin. And so, again, that's just some of the things that we could do. We'll have, I'm sure, more contests. We can see that Lloyd is number one, Rock is number two, and one of my directs, Ben, is number three. Wow. Out of Vietnam. But he's here in Dallas in the Metroplex now. So, I mean, we're rocking down to the final hours. It's countdown time now, and it's based on engagements. Your prospect engaging into what you are leveraging in terms of the tools here with the Advancement Navigator. So Don is going to do a great job of kind of maybe going through a few of these things. And guys, you have to play with it. You have to play with it. First thing I did was I sent information to my wife. I wanted to see what it looked like on her phone. And then I see how it sent me a notification to let me know she watched the video for 1 minute or 2 minutes. So it's very, very advanced, as in the name. It's a sophisticated system. And I'll be quite honest with you, it's a badass system. It really is. It's bad. And I love it to manage and grow my 7-figure plus a year business. So Don, I'm going to turn it back to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Fantastic. And so yeah, we see Lloyd. And by the way, Lloyd is on here today. I see him. I was looking up because I was like, who's Lloyd? This is a new name. Looked him up. He just joined the AbNav app on this is May 22nd. So we are talking, he's been doing this less than a week. And look at, he is on fire. So congratulations to Lloyd. We still have time. So here's how this works, guys. Your qualifier to be considered as the top in the top 3 is just to get to 45. So Ben actually just needs one more today to become a qualifier. And look at Firefighter Mike is right there with 39. If he just gets 6 more today, then he will be in the running for the top 3 positions. So just to make it super duper fair, because this could be manipulated, we want to then, the bottom line is, once you have hit that threshold of 45 engagements, now we're going to look at your at Cost Metals QV for today at midnight. And so whoever has the highest QV will then actually win. So it's, even though Lloyd might have 93 engagements, that is just the qualifier. He hit 45. And now whatever the top 3 are is going to be based on your actual sales with at Cost Metals. And that, my friend, makes it extremely fair. And so if there's somebody on the fence today, just get them in and send out some engagements. And by the way, do not feel bad about asking for a favor on social media. I do it all the time. It works. Say, hey, It's the last day of a contest. I really need you to click on this. And by the way, this is how you do it. You don't just send out the link on social media, because each link counts only for one person. So what you do is you create a post that says, I need you to help me. I'm in the runs for a contest, and I need you, if you can please watch a 2-minute video for me, please DM me and I'll send you the link. They're going to DM you. It's going to say Susie Q. You're going to just add Susie Q into your app real quick, and you're going to send her out a custom link. When she watches it, it's going to count for engagement. So you do have to do some work here. If you're just posting it, just like, let's say you posted it on Facebook and you added it under your contacts as Facebook. That could seem like a good workaround, but that's only going to count for one. So that's how I do it. And there's a lot of great groups on all these different social media platforms that are actually live and thriving. And so if they're live and thriving, a lot of the groups are passe and no one's really posting, but some of the local groups are live and thriving. And if you're in, like, there's a women's group here in town, and it's those kind of groups where I can say, hey, please help me. And they'll do it. So keep that in mind. All right. So what I wanted to do is go through a few things. First of all, the labels, as she had mentioned, the labels are going to be at the bottom under contacts. You're going to actually open up a contact. And I'd like you guys to go ahead and do this. And after I do it, go ahead and create some for yourself. Let me show you what I mean. I'm going to just choose Zach. And under Zach, it just says here labels. Now, when I click edit, there are some labels that came with the app, and they would be things like interested in bullion, interested in buying only, interested in gold, interested in silver, interested in specialty coins, interested in team building. So why these would be important later is, let's say there is, like last night, JD did a great update and he said, there's going to be some silver for sale, limited edition, da, 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 da. You could then pull up everybody that was interested in silver and shoot them off an email that says, hey guys, we got a deal going on. This is the time to buy your membership. Or even if they are already a member, maybe they're not plugged in all the time. It's like, did you see the update with JD? There's going to be some silver going on. There's limited edition, so keep this in mind. That's how all of these would work. Same thing with team building versus buying only. Maybe they just want to be a buyer. They don't want to be an affiliate, or maybe they are big into team building. Now, the social media are also part of what we added, but all these other ones, Momager, Millennial, Demo, Custom Label, Coach, Boss Babes, Book Club, that is under this account. They added their own. So see here where it says add new. We want you to consider, as Jen was saying, all the things that you could add. And if you do this as, set it up right now, not right now, but what I mean is don't get overwhelmed, but set it up as you go, then it's going to be really beneficial to you later. So sometimes things take work at first to get organized, but it's like, wow, it'll play out for you in the end. So like she had mentioned, where did you meet him at? Was it a trade show? Did you meet him at the, wherever, somewhere that you always meet, that you would want to actually make a label? It would not be, maybe every week you're at church and you met him at church, something like that. Some other ones I was thinking about, and again, each of us will think of a whole bunch of different stuff, but what based on country, if your team or your prospects are in different countries, then maybe put down different countries, because then you'll be able to pull up anybody that's in that country if there's something going on later. Like maybe JD is going to be going to South Africa. Isaac was talking about that. He says, I want JD in South Africa. So maybe he's going to go to South Africa. So then if you had everybody in South Africa on in your prospects under a label, you'd be able to pull that up and email them. Really cool. And we did go through how to do the email. I believe it was either last week or the week before. And what it takes, I won't go into full detail right now, but I'm going to go back to the homepage. What it takes, here is this tab that says campaigns. When you click on this, you must have a minimum of, I believe it's 10 to 15 active contacts that have opted in. And so once you have that, then it's going to open up the capability of you being able to send your own emails, in addition to putting them on our email campaign. This is huge, guys, right there. It's saving you a ton of money from constant contact. All right, so we talked about the contest. And the QR code. Okay, so you can find your QR code under contacts or resources. Again, the difference here for those that are brand spanking new is that a contact, when you're sending something to a contact, you always want to go to the contact first, because then it would create a trackable link, and then it's going to notify you when they're watching things. Whereas if you go directly to a resource, like for social media purposes, where you're just posting it somewhere and many will click on it, it's not going to be trackable. So when you click on these, so let's say I want to do it for a contact. Let me click on Victor this time. And to get to my QR code, I'm going to go under Send Resources. And at the very top here, I'm going to click on My Card. And I would click on this to send it to him. And then I would get these options, depending on what I had in his profile: email, text, or copy paste for social media share. But if I just wanted to see my QR code, like what I just showed you I did, just click, oh, I don't know if you saw that. Just click this right here. If you click that, it's going to open this up, and then it says download QR code. It'll save it to your device. And then you can just simply go into your settings and make it your screensaver. I think that's what it's called. How cool is that? All right, and then what Jen was talking about, what Antoine was talking about, just some things I just wanted to remind you. For those that are introverts, for those that are shy, that really struggle with getting out there and making conversation with people, I want you to remember that everything in life is about stretching yourself, that we can master all things, that we have no limitations. So it's important that we stretch ourselves and that we find some good mentors. And we're going to be doing, as time goes on, more and more as At Cost Metals evolves, we'll be doing more and more coaching, mentorship programs, and that kind of thing, helping you stay consistent, helping you be accountable. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing these Funnel Fridays. And it's important that you master the craft. You will be amazed how you look back, and I'm sure many of us here can tell the same thing, is that when you look back at where you began in network marketing or in just talking to people, how far you've come. So it's all about mastering the craft. So sometimes it's easier to do that with strangers than friends. So get out there, have the gift of gab, strike up a conversation. And when you're talking to someone over the phone, a great tip that I found really helpful is to try to smile and laugh as you're talking. And it doesn't feel natural sometimes, but when you start doing that, and we want you to do this genuinely, we don't want this to be fake, but just conscientiously think of joy as you're talking, then the person that you're talking to is going to hear that. There's a different tone in your voice, and it's very receptive and it's intriguing. So smile when you're talking and laugh a little when you're talking. have confidence, but again, the key is going to be authentic. For those that are just getting started today, we just want to walk you through the wizard because we would like everybody to please, even those that did it last week, to send out 5 exposures while we're on the session. If you dedicate yourself to doing X amount per day, that consistency is going to build up. It's just a numbers game. So to do it, all you have to do is click on the, oh, I'm sorry, we're going to go right here in the middle. The add with the little silhouette of a person's head. Click that. And then here it says wizard. Click the wizard. And then it's going to open this up. And it says click here and import contacts from your phone. Then you're going to get this screen. And I want you to just right this second, we'll give you 2 or 3 minutes. I want you to scroll through and at least 5, but don't go nuts and do 50 because we want you to just be able to actually follow up with these people and you don't want to overwhelm yourself. But if you want to do 5, 10, 15, 20, whatever you feel comfortable doing, go ahead and you're just going to check mark them. And then it's going to ask you, do you want to import them? So I want you to be clear on 2 things. Number 1, it's not going to automatically send anything out to anybody. You're going to have to do it. And number 2, this is your contact list. This is your database. I can't see it. Antoine can't see it. No one can see it. It is Rapid Funnel will not sell it. It is yours. You can import everything and then you can export it. It's all yours. And as Jen was saying, it is a lifesaver. If you lose your phone or there's an issue with your phone, it gets broken and you don't have access to your contacts, at least you have them here. Again, that is saving you some money. Elsewhere, you'd be buying iCloud space for all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a few minutes to go ahead and import them. And then I want you, those that already have some, we've got a few things here going on today. I'm going to take you to the events tab. So those that are working on importing, go ahead and continue on. You're not missing out on anything. Under the events today, in about 12 minutes, we have this 30-day blitz. I'm on Pacific time. That's why it says 11 a.m. If you're on, a different time zone, it's going to be way different time than you. But yours will be reflective of what your time zone says in the in your profile. We also then have another one later this evening. So you have 2 opportunities. Remember, our end of week closes out on Saturday at midnight Central Time. And remember, our contest is still good through tonight at midnight Central Time. So get some events out because these engagements count for your contest. In addition to that, think about all the different things that you want to send out. Jen was talking about our really cool surveys. Come up here, click open, look at them, decide if you like them. It's really all about what your preference is and what you believe the person that you're sending it to's preference is going to be. We call these our starters. They're there to pique your interest. We have 6 of them. They're all about 2 to 3 minutes long. Come over here, play them, see which ones you like, and pick one. But you can't break the rules and you can't break this. So maybe your person wants to go directly to seeing the comp plan. Oops. So you would go under follow-up and send them the comp plan. So whatever your person wants, whatever you believe that they would like, maybe they need a testimonial. And maybe they said, is this one of those pyramid schemes? This is a hilarious little 3-minute cartoon that really helps a person realize how ridiculous that is to say, is this a pyramid scheme? It puts things in perspective. All right, so if you have imported your 5 contacts, The next thing I want you to do really quickly is go to the more page, and let's make sure that you have set up your profile correctly. Under settings, look under, oh, right here, under settings. You're going to scroll up, and right here it says ACM referral code. Make sure that you have put in your referral code that's tied to @CostMetals, and this is integrated with our app. Make sure it is just the words or numbers that you chose, not the URL. Once you do that, you're ready to rock and roll. That means your join buttons are going to be active and ready to go. If someone clicks on them, they will go to your @CostMetals join page. So you're ready to rock and roll. So now I want you to click on contacts. And for those that are already jumping ahead, go ahead, run with this, grab a contact, and then click either send a resource, or if you want to invite them to one of the events. I'm going to pretend on this one, I'm going to do an event, show you how easy it is. I'm going to do it for today's event, and I'm going to do it for the one that's happening in a few minutes, because I know maybe this person has nothing to do today or is available. I shouldn't say it that way. Everyone has plenty to do. I know them from social media, so I'm going to click this one, and it's going to open it up, and I'm able just to hit copy, and that's going to copy the text. There's lots of different ways to do it, and the Android is going to look different than the Apple. And I can just pretend I'm going to send it to Jeremy. Dump it right in here. Before I send it, I can look at it. I can modify it however I want. This is just sample verbiage, but this is the important part. This link here is his dedicated trackable link. So do make sure that you are not clicking on this yourself, because then you're going to get a false positive. I can't try to highlight it. There we go. That's the key right there. So yeah, do not click on these yourself. And that's as simple as it is. So while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up to questions. We just have about 8 minutes left. And I know a lot of you want to get on the 30-day blitz to invite some people. So I know Hezron had a question. So let's go ahead and ask Hezron to go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your question. And anybody else, if you would like to ask a question on a feature,
hello.
that would be great. Hi, Hezron.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a question. I actually did it. I raised my hand before Antoine came up. In the chat box, we actually can't send a message. It's only to like hosts and co-hosts.
Oh, let me change those settings then.
Yeah. I mean, it's too late now, but I couldn't get any response on that. Yeah.
Okay, we're good. All right, well, make up a question then. You got 10 seconds. Don't tease it. All right, well, thank you. Okay, so the chat box is available now if you have questions.
Yeah. So, no, all good. I got one or two of my new invitees and new members to @CostMetals online here watching this. So I hope they really enjoyed it. And this is fantastic, and I'm looking to take it quite further, you know. So
excellent.
I'm just doing a comment, no questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Hezron.
Yeah, this is
okay, guys. Let's see. I know that there's a gentleman that was asking a question. Let me share again. He was saying he could not start this. He could not find the download on that website. So let me open this up really quickly. We're going to go to app.advancementnavigator.com. So it's not app advancement navigator. There is the dot in between. When you go here, he was asking about where can I download the actual where can I download the actual app? If you click on the menu, it says get started now. You'd have to first go and set up your account, and then there should be one here, but if it's not here, I'll tell you where you're going to go. Okay. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I will make sure, I don't know if Steffi is still on the line or not, but I think she had to go. But instead of app.advancement navigator, it is download.advancement navigator. So I'll type that in the chat box as soon as I'm done. Or actually, support, can you do that? And this is what it's going to look like. It's going to take you to the Rapid Funnel page where you can either do it on Google Play or on Apple. All right, so now that the chat is available, if you guys have any final questions, let's go ahead and ask. All right, I don't see anybody raising their hand. All right, well, fantastic. Antoine, do you have any final questions then? I mean, final questions, final thoughts.
No, Don, thank you so very much. Fantastic job. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. You have to play with it so that you can get familiar with everything. You can understand how it works so that you can best utilize this fantastic tool. I love it. I continue to use it. Even when I'm out somewhere and I meet someone, I have them scan my QR code. I tell them how to save my contact into their phone. I know how to do it now if they got an iPhone, if they got an Android, because I'm doing it so much. And I can also send them the business card as well. So I'm constantly adding people to my database so that I can drip on them leveraging this system. Thank you, Don.
All right, fantastic. Well, until we join, you'll be, boy, I just went blank. Thank you for joining us for Funnel Friday. And until next Friday, thank you for joining us an hour early at our new time to make sure that we're supporting the 30-day blitz. And now it's time for the 30-day blitz. Anybody that wants to join it, just go to silverforall.com. And that's number four, silver4all.com. Every day for 30 days at 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. Whole bunch of different presenters. So definitely support them. Thank you so much for joining us.